What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do some speed reviews. We've got a lot of products to talk about, and in my defense, we did have two big ColourPop collections come out, and I do have two monthly subscriptions as well, so that's where a bulk of these products come from. But if you're new here, or maybe you've forgotten, the way I do my speed reviews videos is I split all of these products up into three different categories. So the first category is going to be products that I just don't like. I don't think they're worth the money. They're not gonna hang around my collection very long. They're just not any good. The next category is going to be products that they're okay. There's not really anything wrong with them necessarily. Maybe it comes down to preference, but they're products that I'm just not reaching for all the time. I don't really have a hankering to repurchase them if I run out, and I'm not really interested in purchasing more shades if they're available. And the last category is going to be products that I'm absolutely loving at the moment. I can't guarantee these are absolutely going to be holy grail status products, but in the moment, I'm loving them. I'm reaching for them. I want to repurchase them if I run out, and I would love to have more shades if they're available. Now, I will link and list as many of the products as I can down in that description box. Some of these may be unavailable or sold out. I can't guarantee everything will be available, but they will be linked and listed down the description box. And I will put everything that I am wearing on my face into a pinned comment because I don't think it's gonna fit in the description box. And you will see this look. I did video it. It will probably be going up tomorrow. Spoiler, it's June's boxy charm. So let's go ahead and jump into this, starting with the products that are just no good. Okay, so starting with the misses, we only have three products in this category. And up first is this one from Gerard Cosmetics. This is the BB Plus Illumination Facial Cream. I got this in, I believe, last month's Ice Cream Beauty box. I'm not gonna swatch everything, but I have to show you this. So first of all, it's not a very thick formula, but it feels very heavy on the face, and it feels like it's got like a lot of oiliness to it. I don't like the way that it feels, and if you have oily skin, you're probably not gonna like it. My biggest issue with this one is look at that color. That is so intensely pigmented that when I put it on, I am like metallic pink Tin Man, and if I use anything less than a full coverage foundation, it peeks through and just changes the way everything looks. I just don't like it, and not to mention it is heavily fragranced, and it's a fragrance that doesn't really go away. Okay, so from ColourPop, we have the Liquid Light Glow Drops. This is a liquid highlighter. I have the shade Sun O'Clock, and I really wanted to like this, but y'all, I just can't get behind it. Like, one, I hate this applicator. Like, it is so messy. When you pick it up, you get way more than you actually need, and if you put this on over a powdered face, it's just gonna grab. It dries down really quickly. You don't have a lot of work time, and it kind of skips and lifts the product underneath. It works fine over just like a cream foundation and everything, like before you powder, but once you powder over top of it, you can't see it. All the shine is gone. So I expected more from ColourPop. I do really love them as a brand. I just kind of think that they missed the mark on this one. All right, and the last product in this category goes to this one right here from One Size. I don't even know exactly what you call it. It'll be down in the description box, but ultimately it's a lip duo. You have a liquid lipstick down here and you have a lip gloss down here. First of all, that color combination is not my favorite. It's fine once you get it on, but it's just kind of odd. But starting with the liquid lipstick right here, like one, this is like so goopy and gross. The doe foot is fine, but this is a very thick drying formula. Like, this reminds me of something that we wore back in 2017, 2018 when we had that matte lip that just dried everything out, and you're like, why are your lips so crusty? That's what this reminds me of. I do not like it. It is not comfortable on the lips at all. The shade wasn't too bad on me. It wasn't super flattering, but formula-wise, I am not a fan. Coming down here to the lip gloss, this color is very pretty. I don't mind the applicator, but this is sticky. I don't like the way it looks on my lips. I don't like the way it feels on my lips. Overall, I was really disappointed in this. I'm really glad that I got it for free in like the Icon box last month, which I was not impressed with half the products in that box anyways, but I'm glad I got it in that because I've been wanting to try this for a long time, and that hankering is definitely gone. All right, let's move on to a little bit more of a positive note. So these are going to be products that are just, they're in that okay category. There's not really anything wrong with them. They're just not favorites. So starting with primer, I have this one from Flower Beauty. This is the Skin Smoothie Hydro Prop primer. That was hard to say. I do like that this comes in a pump. It does feel very nice on the skin. It is very hydrating, but it doesn't really extend the longevity of my makeup, and that's what I want from a primer. I want something that is either going to blur, or maybe it's going to mattify, fill in pores, hydrate, but also hold my makeup in place. Like that's the whole point. If I just want hydration, I can use my moisturizer. So this will definitely get used as more of like an extra hydration step, but it's not anything that I would repurchase in the future. Okay, I have two foundations to talk about. Let's go ahead and start with this one from Hourglass. This is the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, and this is very beautiful on the skin, but it's just not a favorite for me. It's a little bit more matte than what I want, and I have other foundations in my collection that just, they look better on the skin. They wear better, they give me a more flawless look. I don't hate this foundation. It's just, it's not everything that I wanted it to be. I want it to be just a little bit more glowy. I want it to be a little bit more soft, and I'm just not getting that from it. So like I said, it's not a horrible foundation. It's not anything like garbage. I wouldn't throw it away, but I also wouldn't repurchase this. The shade is a little too light for me, and I've figured out how to kind of adjust it to my skin tone, so I don't feel like I need to go out and purchase another one. I will absolutely use this up, but once I'm done with it, I'll just kind of be done with it. The other foundation that I have to talk about is this one from One Size. This is the Turn Up the Base BBB Cream, so Beauty Blur Balm. Keep that in mind when I talk about this foundation. This is very thick. When I hear beauty balm, I'm thinking of something very light, very hydrating. I understand that One Size is catered more towards oily skin people. I completely get that. But I've also heard some people with like drier skin that really like the brand as well. And once I got the shade kind of leveled out to work for me and I really started to wear it, it's just very thick on my skin. It's very heavy and it looks really good when I first put it on. But throughout the day, it starts to kind of dry me out. And I'm sure that's because this is meant to control oil. So I'll definitely get some use out of it, probably for like short form content, things like that. But as far as like long wear, a go-to foundation, this is just not going to be it for me. But if you have oily skin, I think you might really like this. The Urban Decay All Nighter Hyaluronic Acid Watermelon Fruit Extract Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray. That is a mouthful. This is a nice setting spray. I do really enjoy the Urban Decay All Nighter line. I said it before, this is definitely more hydrating than the original Urban Decay setting spray, but it's not as hydrating as other ones that I have in my collection. This is definitely going to lock the makeup in place. It's definitely going to give a little bit of that hydration to the skin, but it's not going to give you like that dewy look to it. The sprayer is not the most like finest setting. Like it looks really fine, but when you spray it on, you almost get like a little bit of water droplets to the skin, and if you pat them out, they do go away, but it leaves kind of like the same feeling that you would get on your skin initially if you were to spray a hairspray on it. And I've noticed whenever I do spray this, it kind of clings to anything I have around and leaves like that hairspray film on it. So it's not my favorite. It really isn't. I wanted to love this. I was so excited for this, but it's just not a favorite. It's not bad, but for me, it just doesn't kind of fall in line with my preferences. From NARS, we have the Laguna Ultimate Face Palette. This is really nice. I do really like this. I will absolutely use it, but my issue lies with the fact that we have two bronzers in this palette. I don't understand. I don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, I can use both of these, and in the pan, there's not a huge difference to them. This one's definitely slightly warmer and darker, but it's not enough to warrant two bronzers in the palette when we don't even get a blush. I can absolutely go into the shade, I proved that in my video, and use this as a blush, but I have to go in very precisely, be very careful, and because it's an eyeshadow, it's just not gonna give that same kind of formula as a blush will. So while I love this palette, I do really like the formula, and I will absolutely keep using it. If it had had a blush in it, it would have sent it over the top. It would have moved on to the next category, and this would have been an absolute love for me. However, I do still really like this one a lot more than Natasha Denona because we get two different options. It comes in this one and it comes in a darker shade as well, but I just need somebody at NARS to explain to me why we got two bronzers and no blush. So we have these two blushes right here from the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast collection. The packaging is beautiful. I do really love that. I wish that they had kind of done like different packaging for each, like maybe just Mrs. Potts on Mrs. Potts and just Chip on Chip. But you know, that's just me being picky. I digress. Let's talk about Mrs. Potts. The coloring in here is absolutely gorgeous, but this is not very pigmented. Even on my fair skin, I find myself having to really dig in here and just build and build and build in order to get any pigmentation. And I find myself wondering when I'm applying it, like, is this worth it? No, it's not. It's not a bad formula. You can get color payoff out of it, and I will use it. It's just not super pigmented. And then if we move on to the shade Chip, this is really pretty. It looks like a really pretty neutral blush, right? It is, but as somebody with fair skin, this works out better as a bronzer for me, so that's kind of how I've been using it. But I don't think it's pigmented enough that it's really going to reach across a bunch of different skin tones. I feel like once you get to like maybe like light medium or just medium, it's not going to do a whole lot. So if this had been like the first time I ever used blushes from ColourPop, I would not be impressed and it would not make me want to buy more, which is why these are kind of falling where they're falling. Okay, we have this 3D cheek clapper from One Size. This is in the shade Attention Seeker. This is the pink one that came out last year that went viral. It sold out multiple times. Everybody was losing their stuff over this, and I was excited when this came in my icon box, but y'all, I wanted more. I was really disappointed in this. I don't know if it's because it was so hyped up that I was disappointed, but this cream up here is, again, on the dry side. That seems to be a trend with One Size. It's not as creamy as I want. It feels pretty creamy in the pan. It feels a little creamier than some others that I have in my collection, but when you swatch it out, it is wildly pigmented. It's almost too much. It does dry down to a powder finish, and then the powder, it's the same thing. It is so incredibly pigmented that it's like very intimidating. And then whenever you get down here to the highlighter, I get all kinds of chunky fallout with it, and it's on the chunkier side. Like you can see whenever I swatch that, it is definitely on the chunkier side. It has more of like a glitter glow to it. Not anything that I'm going for. So again, this is another one of those I've really been interested in and I finally got out of my system. And it's not a formula that I think is anything groundbreaking or mind-blowing. I have other blush formulas in my collection that I love so much more. For instance, the Patrick Ta duos, that you get a cream and a powder, and that formula is chef's kiss. It's absolutely beautiful. So I don't understand the hype behind this. It's not a bad formula. It's just not anything that I'm like, oh my gosh, One Size came out with another cheek clapper, I have to pick it up, if that makes any sense. From the Blend Bunny Ellis Atlantis collection, we have the Celestial Cheek Glaze. This is really pretty. It's very dark, it is very pigmented, and my issue with this one is, one, it doesn't work out very well on my fair skin. It absolutely shows. It doesn't blend in as well as I want, and it's definitely more on the glitterier side. Glitterier? I don't even know if that's a word. It's definitely more on the glittery side of things. So it is very pretty and I'm happy to have it because I do love Blend Bunny. I love supporting other creators. It's just not a favorite. I have the Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette, and that one, while it still has a little bit more of like a glitteriness to it, those seem smoother. They have more of that transparent base. All of those shades can work across the board. So this one really comes down to preference. It just doesn't go with my makeup preferences. It doesn't go with my skin tone. It's not a bad highlighter. It is beautiful. It's just not made for me. And we also have the Wicked Widow The Crow Highlighter Duo. This one I was so excited about, and it is beautiful. This shade right here is absolutely stunning. I love this on my cheek. I love the formula of this. It is so shifty and so beautiful. Like when that light hits it, it is beaming on the cheek. My issue comes down to this one over here. I'm not really sure who this is made for as far as a highlighter goes. I understand the theming of things and it is absolutely gorgeous, but I did try this on in my dedicated video with this collection and it was a disaster. If y'all watched that, it was one of those moments where like everything pauses and it's like, it was in that moment she knew she messed up. It was one of those moments, and it is very pretty. I'm happy to have this in my collection. I will definitely get a lot of use out of this one. But again, it comes down to preferences. It comes down with how I do my makeup and the fact that I'm very fair in pigmentation. I am very fair in skin tone, and this shade just doesn't work out for me. So this is like a 50-50 split because I do love the formula in here and I love this highlighter, but this one's not going to work out for me. All right, so a couple of eye products real quick. Up first, we have this cute little loose pigment from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. I'm not gonna open it up because it is a little bit messy, but I got this in my ice cream beauty box for the month of May, and this is really nice. I do like the way that it looks like on my lids. It's not quite as messy as I thought it was gonna be. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it because I need to, but it's not as messy on the lids as I thought it would be. It is very pretty, but this isn't anything that I can see myself reaching for very often. There it is over there. It does add like a beautiful glow to the lid. It goes on really nicely. It stays in place. Oh God, it's so pretty. Like, look at how beautiful that is. But again, it's not anything where I'm like, ooh, you know what I want to play with today? It's one of those where it would be like, I'm going through a drawer, like, oh, I haven't played with that in a while. Let's pull it out and play with it. So that's kind of where that is, like, why that is landing where it's landing. The NARS Climax mascara. This is fine. It's not a bad mascara. It's just not a favorite. It doesn't like give me what I want from my mascara. I want something that's going to give me more length and just a little bit of volume. And this gives me more volume than it does length. It kind of clumps up a little bit. I know this is only a sample, and I feel like samples you don't get like the full like feeling out of them, but it just wasn't anything that like really blew me away. I've had samples and other mascaras that I've tried and been like, okay, I need to get that in a full size. That's how I came across like the YSL. That's how I've come across like my Armani, my Lancome, things like that. I got samples of them and fell in love with them. Also, this wand is a little bit bigger than what I prefer. I do have pretty small eyes and they kind of curve down over here, so it can be a little difficult to get into my outer corners if I have too big of a wand. So it's not a bad mascara. Again, this is another one that comes down to preference. The Appeal Gel Liner, this is in the shade Next Level. This also came in my ice cream beauty box, and this is a really pretty red liner. It is, I like the formula. It's a little bit too creamy for what I prefer on my lips, but I did use this as a liner in one of my videos, and it worked out really well for that. It didn't last as long as I wanted it to, so it wasn't a super long lasting one, but to get the look done, maybe for videos, things like that, I could definitely see myself getting some use out of it, but it's not anything that makes me want to run over to the website and purchase more colors. All right, so we have the two lip kits that came in the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast collection. I don't remember what came with what. I don't remember the names of the collections, but each of them came with a lipstick and each of them came with a gloss. Now, these are not bad formulas. They're really not. They are very creamy. They feel good on the lips. They last a long time. They are fantastic for the price point, I think. I have other formulas in my collection that I really love a lot more. It doesn't take a lot to impress me with a lip product. Like generally, I love all the lip products that I have, but this isn't anything where I want to go to the ColourPop website and order more of their lipsticks, more of their glosses, but it's also not one of those where if it comes in a collection, I'm gonna be like, oh, I hate that. I don't want more of them. So that's kind of why this is falling into that middle category. But we do have the shade Not So Cold, which is a really pretty pink shade. Not exactly my shade. I am really enjoying a pink, but I'm enjoying something more on the softer side. And then we also have the shade Last Petal. I like this shade more than I like the other one, but to me that's going to give me more fall vibes, something I'll reach for later on in the year. But both of these are beautiful colors. I do really like them. And then for the glosses, we have the shade, what are you? Kind and Gentle is this one. This is really pretty. So that is the shade Kind and Gentle. And then the other one that we have is Bookworm. This is really hard to read. One, when you're like half blind and the writing is really small, it's just not a good combination. So these are really pretty. I like the glosses more than I like the lipsticks, but you know, they're a good mediocre middle of the road formula. Also from the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast collection, we have the Enchanted Rose Lip Mask. I told you a lot of these came from those collections and subscription boxes, but this is a nice lip mask. It's a little too thick though. It comes out a little gloopy for what I want. It does have a rose scent to it, and it's more of like a waxy soap rose smell to it than a true rose. I'm not a big fan of a rose scent anyway. This isn't bad, but if you don't like roses, you're not gonna like this, and it's a little bit on the gloopier side. They have another one that I will like better, that you'll see in the next category. So that one's okay. I might get some use out of it, but it's not anything that I'm going to like really reach for over the other one. Okay, we have 2 more products to talk about. This one also came in an ice cream beauty box. This is from Gerard Cosmetics as well. This is a lip gloss. This is the, I don't even know what it's called, but it's in the shade Salmon, and I was really terrified to even use this, but it actually looks really pretty on the lips. It is very comfortable. Again, it's an okay formula. It's a little bit more metallic than I want, and it's a little more opaque. It's not quite as hydrating as I want, but it is a unique color in my collection. It does look really nice on, and it's not a bad formula. It's just, again, when I compare it to things that I really love, favorites, it's just not quite on par with those. And then the last product in this category is also from the Icon box last month, and that is the one size, what is this called? Eye Popper Sparkle Vision Eyeshadow. Basically, it's a glitter liquid shadow. This is in the shade P House. I don't know where that comes from, but this is actually really nice. I'm gonna do a swatch right here. It is definitely a glitter, so if you don't like glitter, you're not going to like this. That was a really awkward spot to swatch that. It is very shiny. It looks beautiful on the lid. It doesn't crease, it doesn't have any fallout, but it is glitter, and I am not the biggest fan of glitter. I feel like they're really hard to get off, even though now I have the tip from one of you about using tape to take it off, which does work like a charm. It's just not something that I'm reaching for a lot. Like, again, I will use this, get some use out of it. I think it'll be pretty for certain occasions, but I'm just not wanting to go out and buy more shades of this. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and finish this on a positive note with some products that I have absolutely been loving. Let's start with this one from Kosas. This is the Dream Beam Comfy Smooth Sunscreen Broadband Spectrum SPF 40. I love this. This is a mineral sunscreen, and it is glowy. It has a very beautiful glow to it, so it's perfect on days where I don't really want to do anything heavy, but I need to put on my sunscreen and I want a little bit of a glowy base. Look, it's almost empty. I just got a mini one, and I want a little bit of a glowy base underneath it. I know you're not empty. Hold on. There we go, I got it. So like I said, when you need your sunscreen on and you want just a little bit of a glowy base, but you don't want anything to be super heavy, this is gorgeous. I have really enjoyed this. I actually have another one coming. I placed a small order on Kosas for it, and I've really enjoyed this. As far as sun protection goes, I haven't gotten sunburned when using it, and I have worn just this on my skin. Like I said in another video, we've been painting my son's parking spot, and I've had on just this. I haven't got any sunburn, and it just gives me like this nice, beautiful, healthy glow to the skin. I absolutely love it. All right, so we also have a couple of foundations in this category to talk about as well. Let's start with this one from Fenty Beauty. This is the Soft Lit Luminous Foundation. I think that's the full name of it. This is absolutely stunning. This is my favorite foundation from Fenty. I've had a really hard time finding a complexion product that I love from the brand, and this one is it. I love this. It has more of like a soft, luminous finish to it. Not quite like a dewy finish, but it's not a full-on natural finish either. It's kind of somewhere in between. It is a medium coverage foundation. It wears really well on my skin. It wears all day. It looks beautiful. I don't have any caking, any creasing. It doesn't settle into lines. It doesn't emphasize texture. This is absolutely beautiful, and this is a perfect shade match for me. I have really been loving this. It's been hard to pull myself away from it and try out other foundations, but I love that one. The other foundation that I have is the viral Tier Red Mask Cushion Foundation, whatever it's called. This is stunning. I am blown away that I love a cushion foundation, but this is so extremely high coverage while remaining very lightweight and natural on the skin. Like, you look at this and it covers every single thing on your skin. It covers all your flaws, all your bad decisions, every mistake you've ever made in your life, but it looks natural. It does not look heavy. It does not look cakey. It doesn't feel that way. It looks like your skin airbrushed. This is absolutely stunning. I understand why it's viral. I understand why it's like the best-selling foundation on Amazon. There's like so many sold every so many seconds. I can't remember, but This is beautiful. I love this. This has become a holy grail of mine. This is a go-to if I want something that's going to be extremely long wearing and keep me flawless all day. Like I'm blown away by this. I absolutely love it. Okay, I have one concealer to talk about. This is the Refi concealer that came out recently. This is so nice. I have really enjoyed this concealer. If you looked in my description boxes recently, I have been wearing this almost exclusively for the past couple of weeks. It looks beautiful on the skin. It has a good medium coverage to it. It's not quite as thick as the one from House Labs, but it's also not quite as thin as like my one from Gucci. It kind of falls more in the line of the one from Natasha Denona, but I think this is prettier under the eye. I said it, you know I love my Natasha Denona. That one mixed with the Gucci is like a holy grail combo for me. This has been beautiful, and you don't have to set it. It is self-setting. I don't get any creasing, any caking. It doesn't do anything weird. It still looks beautiful after a full day with or without powder over top of it. Alright, so up next we have this one from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. Now whenever I first picked this up, I got the shade Fair, and this was way too light for me. I put it on as a bronzer and you couldn't really see anything. It maybe added a little bit of warmth, but not what I wanted. I should have known better, because even in the enhancer, the one that comes in like the little pot, I have the light to medium. I don't have the light or the fair shade, so I should have known better, but this is absolutely beautiful mixed into my foundations that are too light for me. I've been using it that way, and it's the perfect consistency. It adds just enough warmth and just enough deepness to it without going over the top, and it doesn't change the consistency of my foundation. I've been mixing this in with the Hourglass and the REM sweetener, and it's absolutely beautiful. But like I said, I went out and purchased the light one too, because I love the formula so much and I wanted to know what it was like as a bronzer, and this is beautiful. This is probably my favorite liquid bronzer in my collection. It is soft, so it's not going to give you like that full-on bronze look. At least this one didn't, but I've really been enjoying a softer bronze lately. I've been enjoying something that just adds a little bit of warmth to the skin, and this goes on beautifully. It lasts all day. It just blends in, it melts in, it doesn't lift product or anything like that. This is a fantastic product and I absolutely love it, and I am not mad that I have both of these shades. Let's talk about some blushes, because there's quite a few in here as well. Up first is this one from Freck. This is the Cheek Slime, and I really love this. This is such a good formula. It is definitely more on like the sheer side of things, but it does build up. I put way too much on, but it just shears out. You can build up the pigmentation, but it looks beautiful on the skin. It is hydrating, but it's not like oily or sticky. It does dry down, maybe not fully, but it's not gonna leave like a nasty tack on your skin where you feel like your hair is going to stick to it. And again, it goes well over and under powder products. I absolutely love this. It doesn't dry down super quick, so you have a lot of work time. My favorite way to use this is to put it on the back of my hand, pick it up with a brush, and then just kind of stipple it on the cheek. But this is gorgeous. I would absolutely love to pick up more of those. We have the two blushes that I picked up that came in the ColourPop Pokemon collection. I have the shade Metronome and the shade Electroball. These are such a good formula. I love these. They're not as pigmented as they look in the pan, which seems to be a thing with ColourPop, but in this situation, it works, because these look like they are going to be very bright, very scary, very harsh on the cheek, and they blend out beautifully. They almost look very similar on the cheek when I blend out the two shades, but they're soft. The formula is very creamy, it's very emollient, but it's not over the top either. It's like the perfect consistency that I look for, and I really love these. I want to pick up more if they have more shades in this same formula. I know that they only have one more in this collection, which is a purple, which I saw swatched out and it's actually really beautiful, but I would love to try more of the cream formula from ColourPop if it's consistent across the board. I don't know if they all are this formula. I know they have more, but the formula in these two is absolutely beautiful. The Adept Cosmetics Amy Loves Makeup Cheek Palette. This is so beautiful. If you love a pink blush, this is stunning. Both of these blush shades are absolutely beautiful. They are pigmented without being over the top. They just blend into the skin like butter. They are beautiful. They last all day. Like I said, they're not overly pigmented. I really love these. And then let me wipe off my finger. The two highlighters up here are so beautiful. They're not super creamy, but they don't go on the skin like really dry either. They just look very beautiful on the skin. They have a nice glow, a nice shimmer to them, very soft, very smooth. They melt into the cheek. They don't leave any chunkiness or glitter to them. This is a beautiful formula. I really love this palette. I think it's stunning, and Adept and Amy did a beautiful job. The Blend Bunny Ellis Atlantis Cheek Trio. This is in the one Lunar Eclipse. I only picked up the one because it was the colors I was interested in. This is such a beautiful formula. I love the colors in here. I love the formula in here. These are very pigmented, but they're not nearly as pigmented as the blushes in the Juicy Cheeks and the Bare Cheeks palettes. Those, you barely dip your brush in and it's like woof, all the colors on your cheek immediately. These are a little bit more blendable. This one is very pigmented, but I don't have to go in quite as cautiously as I do with those two palettes. These two, I can build up a little bit more. I can go in a little bit more hard-handed, but again, they are very pigmented. So if you're wanting a soft look from a blush, this is not gonna work for you. But for my makeup preferences, what I love and what I look for, I absolutely love this. I would love to see more blush colors in this formula from Blend Bunny, because as much as I love those other two cheek palettes, and they're staples in my collection. They have colors in them that are very unique. I don't really have. They're a little much and they're very intimidating, and it kind of like makes me want to pull away when I reach for them, whereas this one I love and I want to play with it. All right, we have 3 more blushes to talk about, but they're all kind of in one category. It is the NYX Buttermelt blushes that they came out with. These are so beautiful. If you tried the Buttermelt bronzers and love those, you're gonna love these as well. The colors that I picked up are all very similar. They're all pinks. I was trying to pick up colors that I would actually use instead of picking up things that because they're pretty and you know, wanting something different. I know what I like. It is what it is. I have a lot of pink blush, but these are beautiful. There's 2 different formulas. So you have some that have more of a shimmer to them. Like this one right here has a shimmer to it. Look at how gorgeous that is. It is not an over-the-top shimmer. It's not like the ones from Rare Beauty or even the new ones from Fenty Beauty. It just has like this beautiful sheen to it, gorgeous on the cheek. They are very pigmented, but they blend out beautifully. That is the shade Getting Butter. And then I think one of these is a matte one. I know it is. Nope, this is another shimmer, but let me go ahead and swatch this one out. This one to me gives NARS Orgasm vibes. It's a little bit more orangier than NARS Orgasm. That one's a little bit more peachy, but it still has like that gold sparkle flip to it. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this must be, yeah, I think this is the matte one. Yes, this is the matte one. And look at how beautiful that is. It still has a tiny bit of a sheen to it, but not quite as much as these two over here. This is just a beautiful formula. It's pigmented. It has a little bit of that smell to it, but for 10 bucks at the drugstore and this big old thing, these are fantastic and I absolutely love them. NYX has been killing it this year and I am super impressed. All right, we have a couple of highlighters to talk about. So up first are these new ones from Danessa Myricks. These are the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighters. This is in the shade Unbothered, and this is a gorgeous formula. Like, it is a very interesting texture. It's like a cream, but it's almost like a cream to powder. It does need to be warmed up a little bit. Like if you've let it sitting, it kind of has like this layer over top of it, but it warms up pretty quickly. And look at how gorgeous that is. It is not super blinding. It just gives you a beautiful like lit from within glow, and it shears out so perfectly. Like, this looks beautiful on my cheek, especially over a pink blush. I don't think I would put this over like an orange blush or anything like that, but like a pink or a nude, it's just so beautiful. It blends in absolutely beautifully into the cheek. It doesn't leave a line. It doesn't have like a cast to it. It's a beautiful formula. I love Danessa Myricks. Most of the products that she comes out with, I really do fall in love with them. Not all of them are for me, and not all of them have been winners, but this one is stunning. And then the last highlighter that we have is this one from the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast collection. This is a Super Shock highlighter, so I already knew I liked the formula and I love the color in here. Yes, this is a ginormous pan, but that doesn't really bother me. But look at that color. Like, that is Absolutely stunning, so beautiful, so reflective. It's creamy. It's a super shock highlighter. If you've had any in the past and you love the formula, you'll love this one as well. So that one was an easy one to throw in this category, as well as these next three are as well. These are the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters from the Pokemon collection. We have 3 different shades and all of these are beautiful. So up first we have this one. This is called Flamethrower, and this is such a pretty like orange shade. It has this really pretty sheen to it. It's sparkly on the lid. It's nice and soft. It's nice and like creamy, absolutely beautiful. And then up next we have Hydro Pump, which is this blue one right here. Like I said, I already know the ColourPop Super Shock formula. I already knew I was gonna like these. It really came down to pigmentation and tone, and all 3 of these are absolutely beautiful. And then the last one that we have in this little collection is Solar Beam. So this is like a green one, and I think this one is my favorite. Like you can already kind of see in there that little bit of a flip that it has to it. And stunning. I love that one. It has like this really pretty like silver sheen to it. I don't really know how to describe it, but all 3 of these are gorgeous. I do love a Super Shock eyeshadow. I just don't get as much use of them let me try that again. I just don't get as much use out of them as I want to, because I love my single shadows, but whenever I'm sitting down to do my makeup, my mind automatically goes to a palette. So I just don't get as much use out of them as I want to, but I do love them. The last product that we have from the ColourPop Pokemon collection is this one. This is the Berry Lip Mask. I like this lip mask more. It's not quite as like sticky and thick as the other one, and it has a berry smell to it. It is lightly pigmented compared to the other one. It does have a little bit of a sparkle in it, but it's very hydrating. It's comfortable on the lips. Both of them are hydrating and comfortable, but for me, I like the consistency of this one more, and of course the packaging is absolutely adorable with that cute little Pokeball. All right, we have just a couple of lip products to talk about and then we are done. So starting with this one from Fenty Beauty. This one came in my Icon box last month, and this is in the shade, what are you? Oh, it's on the side. Mother Lover. I really love this formula. This is like a satin formula. It's not quite a matte, but it's not quite a true like shine either. The color is beautiful. This is super comfortable. It's hydrating. It doesn't dry out my lips. It doesn't make them look cracked and gross, and the color actually lasts a really long while. It doesn't last all day. This doesn't claim to be transfer proof. It is like a classic lipstick, but the formula is beautiful. I love that you can get this little refillable case and kind of switch out your color. I'm really interested in picking up more of those. 2 more lip products that I have are from Benefit. These are the, what are they called? I can't ever remember what they're called, but one is a splash tint and, splash tint and plush tint. That's what they're called. So the splash tint has a little bit more of like a glossy finish to it. Both of these are going to be a lip stain. So you see it has just a little bit more of a shine to it. I will say eventually it dries down and some of that shine kind of wears away. So I don't really think that there's a huge difference. So I don't think that you really need both formulas, especially if there's one color you like. Just pick a formula and go with it. But then we also have the plush tint, and this one is supposed to be more matte, but this is like that velvety formula that we've been seeing a lot lately. Again, a lip stain, but you see how it's not like that matte. Like there's not a huge difference as far as like shine and opacity go with them. It really just kind of comes down to comfort and things like that. If you're not a fan of like this velvet liquid lip formula, you're not gonna like this. But like I said, they're both stains. They look beautiful. They're very comfortable. I've really been loving them. The stain does last all day, and even the formula itself stays on a pretty long while. So I absolutely love those. I was excited to see a lip product from Benefit, and those are beautiful. And the last product that we have to talk about is these 3 lip glosses from City Lips. These were sent to me from the brand, and I do have a code with them as well. I will pop it up on the screen. So if you want to pick anything up from the brand, you can go ahead and use my code, get some money off. But these are their City Lip plumping lip glosses. Yes, that's what they are called. So they sent me 3 different shades, and this is such a good formula. This one reminds me of like the Gucci formula or the the new one from Natasha Denona. I'm drawing a blank. I've done a lot of talking today. So it does have like that slight plumping effect. It's nothing uncomfortable, nothing that hurts, anything like that. It does have that weird smell to it that I've noticed in the plumping glosses that I've been trying lately, but these are super comfortable, very hydrating, beautiful, super pigmented on the lips. I really like that color. It is absolutely stunning. So that was the color Watermelon. And then we also had the color Los Angeles. I'm not a big fan of this color just because it's like that iridescent pink shade. I'm just not a big fan of that on the lips. But again, it is very beautiful, very comfortable. And then the last one that we have is just a clear one. This is the shade Clear. How fitting for the shade name. And this is probably my favorite one because I like to throw a clear gloss over a lip liner and give a little bit of, I don't know why I'm swatching this. It's a clear gloss, but these are beautiful. They're comfortable, they're hydrating, they're moisturizing. They do give it a little bit of a plumping effect, but they're not uncomfortable. They don't hurt or anything like that. So I absolutely love those. I'm very happy with the formula. Thank you to City Lips for sending those over to me. I am so appreciative, and I feel like very special to kind of get a PR product, I guess. But that's going to complete this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope I was able to help you out with shopping choices in the future, maybe things that you can pass on, things you can pick up, things you were curious about. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. If you have any of these products, which ones do you love, which ones do you hate? If we have different taste in makeup, that is okay. That's what makes this so much fun. But like I said, that's going to complete this video. Let's have that conversation, light up that comment section, and as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every week and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one.